Hi, welcome to the GNAT TV News Project. I'm Andrew McKeever. I'm the news director here at GNAT TV, and we have a segment of another show that we're going to be airing next week, and it will be available on our website, a conversation with Professor Emeritus Eric Davis of Middlebury College. Eric Davis is a widely quoted commentator on Vermont politics, and he spent some time with us last week talking about the upcoming election in Vermont, the impact of the presidential election on the state races for governor, lieutenant governor, and the others, and also about some of the issues voters will be casting ballots around. We're just going to show you a little bit of a larger interview right now, and again, you can come back and see the full version shortly. Interesting segment here about how the challenge of controlling state spending and matching that with state revenues will be impacted by the population shifts going on in the state. Let's have a listen, and we'll be back shortly. I was just wondering, Phil Scott, I know, has made a major point out of saying that he doesn't want to increase state spending faster than state revenue growth checks in at. In other words, if it grows by 2%, then we can't have any more than 2% spending, increase in spending in state spending. I guess my thought on that is like, well, that sounds like a common sense, reasonable approach, but how realistic is it? I mean, with all the needs that the state has, can we really do that?
I'm not sure, and I think the real crunch comes in healthcare, because one of the single largest programs in the state budget is Medicaid. The federal government pays a little bit over half the cost of Medicaid, the state bears the rest. And Medicaid has been expanded in Vermont in the last few years, as it has in other states. So the Medicaid caseload has been growing. I think it's close to 100,000 people now, which is about one out of 7 Vermonters, roughly. If you limit Medicaid spending to 2%, that's probably no more than half of the rate of spending increase in recent years. And the providers are going to complain. I mean, Medicaid already pays physicians and other providers less than Medicare or private insurance. And if the Medicaid reimbursement rate is lowered even further, that's not going to make the providers happy, and there'll be a big cost shift, particularly onto the employer-paid insurance programs. So, holding state spending to the growth of income is going to be a real challenge. In my view, that equation has to be looked at on the income side as well as the spending side. That the state needs to increase the amount of revenue, not necessarily through raising taxes, but through increasing the labor force. One of the interesting things about Vermont's population right now is it's the second oldest in the country. Only Maine has a higher average population. The Vermont labor force has been declining over the last half dozen years. Actually, there are fewer people in Vermont today working than was the case before the recession back in 2007.
Wow,
that's not the case nationally. That's not the case in most states. The reason that trend is present in Vermont is not because there have been huge layoffs or anything like that. It's because the state is aging, and people retire from the workforce and aren't replaced by younger workers. And if the current trend continues, what you're going to have in Vermont is a workforce that makes up a lower and lower share of the population as the population gets older, and the state revenues will be struggling to keep up with the demand for spending. So in my view, I know this is a controversial proposal, I think one of the best things the state could do would be to set a goal of increasing the population, particularly people between ages 25 and 45.
So, interesting stuff. And you can watch the rest of the interview next week on GNAT TV or go to our website. Also, you can sign up for email alerts if you wish to make sure you know about events like this that we're going to be showing on the station. You can sign up for those on our website also, and that is gnat-tv.org. So, I hope you enjoyed that segment. Come back for more. This has been Andrew McKeever of the GNAT TV News Project. Have a great day.